Good morning, and we are live. Good to see you folks. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. A lot to talk about, a lot of good information. Forgive me. Whew, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Look, let's just dig right into it. There's a lot going on today, a lot to talk about. Let's get to talking. Man, there's a lot to talk about. Some of it is just straight up bullshit, like this. Uh, after you've seen everything about the Epstein files, you've got right wingers that have the ball. Forgive me. Woo. I haven't sneezed all morning. I said twice in a row. Um, yeah, they have the balls to come out and try to run this. They're desperately flailing, trying to figure out what they're going to do about the Epstein files. They're desperately trying to figure out how the hell are they going to deal with this. It is just blowing up in their faces. Just all of it is just going crazy. I mean, Martha, something may be blowing in right now. I don't know. Eyes are a little bloodshot. I'm sneezing all of a sudden. Might be allergies coming in. Who knows? Y'all got to be patient with me. But yeah, there are actual right-wing outlets trying to run with this, that the FBI, and all this is a rehash of some, old shit where they tried to kill this before, saying that the FBI concluded that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't running a sex trafficking ring for powerful men, files show. This is just like a one-off little thing that they dug up out of the files, and now they're trying to run this narrative past Cletus and the dumbest among us. It's a diversion. It's nothing. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. It's not going. You're seeing the files. You're seeing what's been going on in the files. You're seeing, people like Bill Gates has been utterly destroyed, just utterly destroyed. And you're seeing other foreign services, just all across Europe. They are investigating these. They're opening up investigations. Hell, the government in the UK may not survive this. Keir Starmer is in some serious trouble in the UK over his appointment of Mendelsohn to be the U.S. ambassador, now that he's getting absolutely destroyed in the Epstein files releases. Yeah, that bullshit narrative isn't going to go anywhere. Don't believe your own eyes. This wasn't actually happening. I mean, can you believe that there are actually billionaires out there funding this? Boy, do you do. Give me 1 second. I do apologize. Yeah, I think there might be some cedar or something blowing in. All of a sudden, 2 sneezes and a runny nose. I've been up since 4:00 this morning. Hadn't had a single sneeze, and then all of a sudden, woo! I used to work with this old boy that had cedar allergies really bad. We'd talk about it every time. This time of year, the cedar trees go crazy, and he swore to God that if he could, he would castrate every damn cedar tree out there just to quit. Oh my God. I've known some characters in my lifetime. I really have. I've known some characters in my lifetime. But yeah, don't get distracted by that nonsense. Just don't. It's bullshit. You've seen what you've seen, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Congress is now starting to see the unredacted versions. Starting Monday, the Congress gets the unredacted versions of all the shit that they pumped out. And yeah, all hell is going to break loose. It is. It's going to be a constant drip, drip, drip from the Epstein files. This is going to be part of the destruction of the Trump regime. Just hang tight, folks. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better, man. I tell you what, my coffee's getting me through it this morning. Yeah. Oh my God. Old Joe was funny. He was a funny man. He was a funny man. You should have been there for that conversation. Anyways, this happened. This is not good news for the Trump regime. I don't know if you've noticed, but Japan's government has been selling off our debt. They have been shedding our debt as quickly as possible. And that's not a good thing. You're talking about spiking interest rates and a devaluation of currency. Well, they held a snap election in Japan because you've always got internal political strife. Politics is war, people. It is. So the ruling government said, "Okay, fine. You want to come after what we're doing. You want to attack what we're doing. Let's see what the people think." They held a snap election, and this happened. And this is not good news for Trump. Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi's party projected to secure a large majority in snap elections. They may actually pick up seats. The results are coming in so strongly in favor of the Liberal Democratic Party in Japan, the ruling party in Japan, that they've already secured a majority, and it is looking like that they may actually gain additional seats as more results come in. So, yeah, I mean, this is not looking good for Trump. Foreign policy, they've been a frickin' disaster, and it is all coming home to roost. It is. Agent Cajun John, glad to see you here, my friend. Hope you're feeling well. But I was thinking about you the other day, man. You need to email me. Let me know how you're doing, man. You can't just drop on me that I'm not going to share your personal shit here, but you can't just drop that on me, man, and then go radio silent, brother. I worry about you. Imagine if Canada became the 51st state, it would be the largest blue state in the country. That would be the only good thing if it happened. Yeah, that ain't happening. Canada, yeah, that was just insulting as shit to our Canadian neighbors. It really was. Chandra Patton, oh my, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There are things going on all across the country, none of which are good news for the Trump regime. ET, meanwhile, the Mad King has set a June deadline for Ukrainian peace settlement, with Putin wanting to put in $12 trillion, which some would go into Trump's pocket. Yeah, nothing's going to happen in everything. All the pressure that Trump had on Zelensky has evaporated. It just has. Putin's not going to be able to strong arm his way through this. He's just not. The people of Ukraine have been so incredibly resilient and brave through this. I cannot stress how much I absolutely respect what they've done. And what they've endured. It is incredible. And Democrats, looks like we're going to retake Congress. So the support is going to come back from the U.S. for Ukraine. Now, they've just got to hang tough for the next 8 months or so. So, yeah, I don't see any, great deal being done in Ukraine that benefits Putin and Trump. I just don't see it happening. But this is happening. Abigail Spanberger signed a bill that moves the redistricting in Virginia one step closer to the voters. Unlike what happened here in Texas, where they just selfishly redrew the maps, gerrymandered the shit out of the maps, in which case we've talked about this in the previous show. They royally screwed up when they redrew the maps here in Texas. They screwed up. They went off numbers from the 2024 election, and I'm going to explain to you. Put a pin in that. I'm going to explain why that was a big problem here in Texas here in just a minute. But yeah, this is what's going on in Virginia, and I absolutely love it. You see the woman standing next to Abigail Spanberger? That's Louise Lucas. This is Louise Lucas. She is my hero. She is a spitfire, man. She is badass. This is Louise Lucas. She has been one of the strongest forces behind the redistricting in Virginia. And man, I tell you what, they're getting it done. They're getting it. The map they put forward is, I mean, just absolutely, it's amazing. This is the map. This is the map going forward. Hold on. I want your comments to get away from me. Let me catch up with the comments. I do apologize. Juggling. I'm juggling. Stick with me. Stick with me. We got Jeremy Breeden in the house. The MAGAs who are scared of the halftime show must be descendants of the people who clutched their pearls over Elvis's gyrating hips. Yeah, they are having a fit over a freaking concert, man. Just a freaking concert at a football game. Losing their damn minds. I appreciate all the gifted memberships. I appreciate all the new members. I'm so glad you were here. Working very hard to grow our community over there. Meanwhile, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this community growing. We've got 8 months to push as hard as we can to get as much momentum behind the Democrats as possible. And the way we do it is by getting the message out, people. Laura, thank you for the support, membership, and supporting the show. Damn, girl. Damn. I'm telling you. Oh, Martin, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. I love it, man. Loving it, man. Our French audience here. Loving it. Jordan Beamley. You know what? I'm glad to see France in the house. We've done really well in Northern Europe, Germany, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands. We've done really well in Northern Europe. I'm glad to see France in the house. I am. We even got a couple people from the UK here. We've done really well across Northern. I want to see more Ireland in the house. I want to see if we can't spread more into Ireland. I want to see if we can't spread more into France, maybe even move into Italy. I know there's a language barrier there, but a lot of Italians speak English. Jordan B. Miller, lying Cancun Ted Cruz is trying about losing the redistricting fight. And on that note, I love that you people are always ahead of it. This is why I love Louise Lucas. She shoved Ted Cruz into a locker, and then here, let me let you read it. She shoved Ted Cruz into a locker. Ted Cruz had the balls to pop off and call what's going on in Virginia a brazen abuse of power and an insult to democracy. Let's put a pin in that for a second, and let's talk about what's going on in Virginia. They're going to send their map to the people for a vote. They're going to send their redistricting efforts to the people for a vote. That's what they're doing in Virginia. Ted Cruz here and the Republicans did not. They just redrew the map and did it themselves in the legislature. So to have the balls to make that statement in and of itself is just breathtaking. But he says 40% of Virginia voted Trump. They will now get just 9% of the seats. Not how this works. And you didn't give a shit when you gerrymandered Texas. You didn't give a shit. But Louise Lucas responded, "You all started it and we fucking finished it." Oh, yes, baby. Yes. The Jim McGuire popped off. Little Jimmy McGuire from Virginia popped off and said, "You're a senator. Work on your vocabulary." And Louise Lucas responded, "I have learned that being politically correct is lost on haters, so I speak the language that they understand." Oh my God. I love it. This is what I've been fighting for, people. This is what I've been fighting for. People, when I first got on the scene, talking the way I talk and saying the shit I say, people were like, because they had never heard Democrats talk that way. You know, they just hadn't. 4 or 5 years ago when I first started doing the shit, I was shocking people left and right. And now we got state senators just rocking their clock, man. I love it. I love where we are headed. We got to keep pulling, though. Got to keep pulling left. We've got to keep pulling left. We really do. Because we still have, look, let's pause what we're talking about for Virginia. We're going to come back to Virginia in just a second. Let's talk about Illinois. I was screaming about this when California first redrew. I was like, it can't just be California. It can't. We've got to do to Republicans what they do to us until they scream like gut-shot hogs for us to stop. That's what we need to do. We got J.B. Pritzker up in Illinois. Why didn't he redistrict? No, instead he puts a threat out and says, if Indiana, remember, Trump was trying to pressure Indiana to redistrict. J.B. Pritzker jumped in the middle of that and said, if Indiana redistricts, Illinois redistricts. And then the Republicans in Indiana said, oh, we better not do that. We better not do that. We better not do that. No, not where I want to be. Not where I want to be, not what I want to be doing. I don't want to be, oh, you better stay on the high road or we'll join you on the low road. No, jump down on that damn low road. Redistrict in Illinois. We gain more seats in Illinois than they gain in Indiana. Make them beg us to stop. They've been doing this shit for years, people. We have way more people. We just do. The electoral college fucks us every election. We have way more people. We can redraw these districts and decimate the Republicans for decades to come. We can. Do it. They are telling you, they're showing you they will do it to you. Florida's trying to redistrict right now. And yet we've got J.B. Pritzker, who, I understand the mentality. I understand the thought. I understand we want to be better. We want to be true to ourselves and our morals and our understanding. But at some point, you've got to understand you are in a fucking knife fight. Get to cutting, man. Get to cutting. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And I will tell you, I don't hide who I am. I don't hide what I say. That's where I'm at. David Martinez, Texas Paul, thanks for all you do and your wife do. Hey, man, David, I'm glad you're always here. I see you, brother. I see you in the chat. I see you're always here, man. Thank you for always being there. Timothy Moon, thank you for the support, sir. I mean, y'all check me. We're a community here. Am I wrong? They already went low road. I'm saying let's get in that ditch and go to work, man. Grab that bat and just start going to town on them, man. Forget this shit. I don't want to be the good guy in the room. I don't want to be the good guy in the room anymore. I want to make them cry like bitches. Mr. Will, hey, Paul, here with you as always. Glad to see you here, brother. Glad to see you here, Mr. Will. Mango Mussolini was counting on the Hispanic voters when Hot Wheels redistricted the map. Yeah, we're going to come back to that. We're going to come right back to Annabelle. You know what? We'll talk about it right now. Get it off the table. We'll talk about it. This happened, okay? I'm going to come back to Virginia. This happened in Louisiana. This just happened. Didn't make a lot of national news, but it just happened. You remember Taylor Emmett in Tarrant County? They flipped a red district there. They did. This happened in Louisiana. This is not a flip, okay? I want to be clear about that. That's not what I'm saying. This is a district that is, well, you know what? Let's go to the map. This happened. Chastity Martin, not Chastity, Chastity Martinez, absolutely 100% nailed it in this election. But this was a blue district. This was a blue district. But what people are excited about is this district in the 2024 election went hard right. It did. It went hard right. It went for Trump by 14 points. All of that has vaporized and moved left. Not only did all of the move to the right disappear and go back to where it was before, but it actually moved 10 more points to the left than it usually does. She whooped Brad Daigle's ass. She beat the brakes off of him. And that's what people are excited about, because it shows that disappeared. And folks, I just want to recap one of the major reasons we lost the election was, look, we were strangling the economy intentionally. We were choking the economy as hard as we could. Inflation had taken off after COVID. Inflation was real, man. It got as high as, I think, 14 points at one point. Somebody fact check me on that. I think it got as high as 14 points at one point. Inflation was just insane. And the only way you can deal with that kind of inflation is to strangle your economy. That's it. And that doesn't feel good. That does not feel good. DJB, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. There are a lot of reasons we lost that election, including misogyny, including racism, including the corporate media and their absolute desire to have the chaos that is Trump and the way they handled reporting in the last election. There's a lot of don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but this is a major reason we lost the last election. We were intentionally strangling that economy to get inflation, and it worked. It worked. Had Donald Trump done nothing when he got into office, if he'd have just shoved his thumb up his ass and sat there, the economy was at the point, and inflation was at the point, that the Fed would have started lowering interest rates and encouraging economic growth. It would have kicked off the economy again. Instead, Trump was Trump. I love tariffs. I love tariffs. Tariffs are beautiful. Tariffs are the great thing. And he utterly took an economy that had been intentionally being strangled that got him elected. That action, which was a good thing, it was the right thing to do. It's uncomfortable for the American people, but we had to get that inflation under control. It was killing people. Doing the right thing, we ended up shooting ourselves in the ass. Why? Because it's what I tell you all the time. You could reason through this. You could reason that we had this raging hot economy, that they were intentionally, the economy was so freaking virile. I mean, it was just that they were intentionally just choking it. We could reason that out. The average person out there that's not involved in politics just know it felt like shit. It did. It felt like shit. And those people moved to Trump. And what we're seeing in these election results, that is a good thing. While it was not a flip, that was a blue district. Let me go to the map real quick and show you what I'm talking about, where we're talking about. 1 second. All right, this is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This district that we're getting these results back, this is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This district is all of this Plaquemine, White Castle, Bayou, all of this down the Mississippi River. This is a blue district. This entire area southwest of Baton Rouge here, this is a blue area. This is the area, we're talking about central Louisiana. This is all blue. It is. But we're seeing that the people that moved right over the economy because it just didn't feel good, They had been suffering under inflation, and then here we came in doing the right thing and just again, I'll say it again, choking the economy as hard as we could to get that inflation under control. It didn't feel good. All those people went hard right, and that blue district freaked Democrats out because it went for Trump by 14 points. That's kind of unheard of in that area. Well, that's gone, man. It's over. It's over. And Democrats rightfully are celebrating that. Now, how does that apply to Texas? When Texas redistricted, that same sentiment, that same voter sentiment that in this district moved it to a Trump plus 14 and has now completely vanished, they used those numbers in Texas when they redistricted. And when we saw the maps here in Texas, we were like, oh, you fucked up, brother. You fucked up. You did. Oh, we were like, oh, no, stop. Don't do that. Don't. We Democrats here in Texas, we saw this. We know what these districts are. We're talking about as many as 5 districts. They completely misjudged what their turnout was because the idiots they hired to redraw the maps here in Texas used those 2024 numbers. That's gone. We are not only back to where it used to be, we're like dim plus 10 sentiment. So yeah, Texas is going to be a firestorm in the next election. And you saw that in Tarrant County, which was a flip. That was a red district. And you had Taylor Remmett take a state Senate seat that was reliably red. I'm telling you, folks, hang in there. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Tiger blood butterfly. Arrest and release is happening in Laredo. 100 plus a day. Yeah, I know. They're going to keep doing that horrible shit. They are. They're going to keep doing that horrible shit. Kim, HR Guru, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate you. The Olympics are a wonderful distraction, except for Vaughn. You know what? I didn't watch it. I just didn't. Trump sending ICE over there, it just so soured it for me. I didn't watch the opening. Sarah, I haven't watched any of it. And in fact, I changed it. I'm not telling you to. I'm not saying boycott it. I'm just talking about my own personal. I've watched none of it. None of it. Absolutely none of it. Joyce, glad to see. Joyce Johnson, new member. Catherine Suffocatus, man, I always hear. Glad to see you're a member now. Glad to see you're a member here, Catherine. Longtime supporter. Glad to see you're a member now. But yeah, folks, this is Virginia. This is what they're doing in Virginia, and they're redrawing this map knowing what the sentiment is going to be. This isn't like Texas where, oh, this isn't going to work out. This is, Republicans are in full freak out mode, man. They are in, well, you saw Ted Cruz crying like a little bitch. Yeah, they're redrawing Virginia to be a 10-1 state. Yep. There's only one district right here, District 9, that went for Trump. Only one. And it went 74-25. They have redrawn everything, even 6 here, 50-47. Republicans are like, oh, well, maybe we got a fighting chance here in District 6. No, you do not. Because you have to remember, not only have the numbers moved back, they've moved back plus about 10-14 for the Democrats. Yeah, I am telling you, this map is real. This is what's really going on. And I want to see this going on across the country. First we win, then we regain our morality. Yeah, Contessa Hood, you nailed it. You nailed it. But I do want to caution people. I do. There's a lot of good news in these numbers. There really is a lot of good news. And it really shows that people have woken up. You know, we bitched about them talking about the price of eggs and stuff. And we fucked up. We did. We fucked up. We forgot. There are so many people out there that aren't us. And we did. And I apologize. I apologize again. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be the sober person in the room. So here it goes. I'm going to give you a little sober warning. None of this is guaranteed. 8 months is a political lifetime. It is. Does it look like things like the Epstein files? We're going to talk about an intelligence problem here in just a minute. All of these things that are just going to blow up on the Republicans. ICE is continuing to. They just found out that they arrested a 2-year-old, and took a 2-year-old into custody. There is just going to be, and a 7-year-old. Do you know how much that scars a child? I mean, really, do you know how much that scars a child? And we're not talking about for a crime. The parents didn't rob a bank. It's a misdemeanor. It's a civil action. And they took a 2-year-old and threw her into a fucking warehouse, took her away from her parents and threw this child into a fucking warehouse. Yeah, this isn't going to stop. This isn't going to go away. The momentum is moving our direction. People are waking up. Even some of the racists are like, ooh, this is uglier than I thought it would be. Don't count on them voting for us, but some of them are going to stay home. But I'm warning you folks, I talk to these MAGA people. I do. Where I live, I can't help it. I can't help it. They're everywhere. They're in every business. They're in everything. I talk to these MAGA people. They're not in stay-at-home mode yet. They aren't. They've already excused the Epstein files. They've got their canned answers. When the Epstein files come up, they've got their canned responses already. The ICE stuff, they've already morally come to the understanding that some Americans just gonna die, and it's our fault for being liberals, and if we just comply. So yeah, this isn't a guarantee. Things are looking good, but this isn't a guarantee. And too many people that are populist. I'm a progressive. I'm not a populist. I'm a progressive. Difference between a populist and a progressive. Progressive believes in social elites, scientists, expert politicians, and things like that. Populist believes that, like you hear on Blue Sky about how the young people want to take over everything, even though they don't know how to run anything. They want to just take over. We're having that in one of our local Democratic parties is having a young person came in, instead of learning and becoming part of bringing their energy in, they're like, I want to take it over. And this person does not have the temperament or the skills to run the party. She just doesn't. And it's a problem. It's a problem. Populists for, progressives versus populists. I'm a progressive. Folks, too many of the populists among us are feeling way too fucking comfortable about these numbers. They are. And I'm warning you. They are shooting the Democratic Party in the ass at every opportunity. And let me tell you why, okay? Folks, you allow me to do this full time, which means I'm earning a living doing this. YouTube pays me for the ads and everything. I am earning enough that I can do this full time. There are people that make way more money than me that run that populist bullshit. After the 2025 project, one of the goals was, one, to put you on your heels. You remember this. We talked about this before. To make you feel intimidated, to make you curl up in the fetal position. That failed miserably. Look at the beautiful people in Minnesota out there just fighting their asses off. Cassie Lake, tip for the coffee jar from the Canadian Ranch. Thank you. I love our so much Canadian support. Thank you, my brothers and sisters up in Canada. And again, we will fix this. And again, I apologize for all the stupid shit that comes out of our government. Donald J. Trump has destroyed the trust we had in the U.S. May take a generation to repair. PM Carney said, forever changed. Yep. You can't take people for granted and just have that shit happen. Randy Ryder, shame they're so crazy about a 15-minute Spanish halftime show and cannot get crazy over decades of pedos. Yep. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. The bigotry is still there. All those people you see whining and bitching about this halftime show will show up and vote. E.T., whatever you do, cried Brer Rabbit, don't throw me in that briar patch. Yeah, that was us here in Texas, man. That was us here in Texas. When we saw that map, we were like, oh, no, don't do that. Lisa K., what are your thoughts about the February 25th meeting with FBI, DOJ, DHS, USPS, and Election Assistant Commission and state election officials regarding midterms? I'm getting there. I'm getting there on this rant. I'm getting there. CC Bean, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Shani Rudder, new membership. Thank you for being here. Look, I want to be clear about this. I want to be clear about this. Nothing, you can take nothing for granted. George Allen, we need to follow up on the 2-year-old. I'm going to check it out. It needs to be released like now. Yep. They're going to do awful things. They are. But look, back to what I was talking about with the election. You have these populists that are taking these numbers really for granted. And they are people out there that make a really good living. After the 2025 project, bots came out, like I said, try to put you on your heels. Didn't work. We all stood up. None of us are afraid. We're going to fight for our country. That part of the 2025 project has failed miserably. And more of it has failed because, like I keep talking about with the cell phones, you know what I mean? Showing people what this stuff looks like, they failed in many ways. One way they didn't fail, those same bots that were working in the election, and you saw them, the don't show up and vote bots, the attack in the Democratic Party bots. Okay, part of the mission of the 2025 project was to separate us from our leadership. That has worked spectacularly well. They succeeded spectacularly well. If you talk to the populace, and each platform is different. Facebook, a lot of seasoned, a lot of veterans there. It doesn't play as well there. Threads is kind of middle ground. You got some young, some people with, white in their beard, like a lot of us have. Again, plays a little bit, but you go to Blue Sky, where it is a lot, and this is why I love Blue Sky, is the youth and the energy that is there. And it's also the far left fringe of our party is in Blue Sky. If you go to Blue Sky, they hate the Democratic Party. Hate it with a red hot passion. It does not matter what Democrats do. They will badmouth it. They will shit talk it. They will. And these people are feeling way too fucking comfortable. And this is what I say. And these people are the activists, the LGBTQ plus activists. These are the people, the transgender activists. They are the folks that are the firebrands that, give us energy on the left side of the movement, but they have fallen hard for this, and I give an example. I just lost my damn shit yesterday, and I promise I will get back to it, back to what we were talking about. I will land this plane. I promise. The New Republic came out with an article said, Dems caved over masks, and then gave an example of some of the proposed. This is not the legislation. This was just conversations back and forth between the Democratic leadership and the Republicans. And what they said we caved on, and why we caved and gave up, was because in that legislation, it said ICE can only wear masks in extreme circumstances. They said, oh, they caved on masks. They caved on masks. And it exploded on Blue Sky. Democrats caved because they love to hate Democrats. And I lost my ever-loving shit over that. Gas masks, people. If they write the legislation where they say you cannot wear masks, then you're telling a law enforcement agency, whether you like it or not, ICE is a law enforcement agency, that they cannot wear basic riot gear. That will never pass. Ever. I got huge pushback on Blue Sky. Well, they shouldn't be able to use tear gas anyways. They shouldn't. And then some people like, well, that's illegal to use tear gas. And shit that just wasn't true. I mean, just the pushback I got over that. I was like, look, you cannot write this legislation in a way that it will not pass. You can't do it. You cannot tell any law enforcement that they can't wear a gas mask. You just can't. It will not pass. Rightfully so, it will not pass. And it's not just gas masks. I got so much pushback because I mentioned gas masks. Folks, N95 PPE masks are masks. If you write the legislation that ICE cannot wear masks, that means if we have another pandemic, bird flu mutates or whatever, you're saying they cannot wear N95 masks. It's illegal. And even worse than that, I got pushback on that by people saying, well, they could just write in that they could wear N95 masks. I'm like, you don't understand how to write legislation. I'm not an expert on writing legislation, but there are people within our party who are. And you don't write into the legislation they can wear N95 masks. Because when they develop N100 masks, the next generation that is better than the N95 masks, they're illegal. They're illegal. No, you have to write the legislation so it's functional, so it works, so it gets your objective, so that ICE isn't running around with balaclavas all over their face. You get rid of those, but you write the legislation in a way so that it'll pass. But the populists went fucking nuts. Dems cave. They love to say that shit because they're so comfortable with these numbers coming in. They think they can attack the Democratic Party daily. They can we talked about filling the space before. There's only so much attention spans that people have. You only have so much time. You've got to wake up. You've got to do your laundry. You've got to do, you know what I mean? You've got shit you got to do. There's only so much time you have to spend with me and take in information. They're filling the space with anti-democratic shit, and they're from the left. They're from the fucking left. They're filling the space with anti-democratic, and they think they're doing a good thing. They do. And you have massive populist accounts that are making a fucking fortune. Way more money than I'm making. They're making a fucking fortune selling this populist shit because they've got the bots that work for the right selling it for them. And they don't care. Cha-ching. They don't care. So I'm warning you, you people understand. I'm going to land this plane now. I'm warning you, nothing is a given. Yes, these numbers look fantastic. Yes, you should be excited about them. Yes, it looks like we have tremendous opportunities ahead of us, but be mindful. Nothing is guaranteed. We must participate. We must be active in our local Democratic parties. We must push positive narrative. I don't care. I'm trying to pull the Democratic Party left, but you never hear me shit on the Democratic Party or the Democratic brand because I understand fucking elections and narratives. You people have to be, again, I keep telling you, you're smarter than most. You have a responsibility. So pretty please, yes, while this is going on and things are actually working in our favor, please don't take it for granted. We can lose this if we're fucking stupid. Thank you, Texas Paul, for always keeping us more independent. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. The cultist always doubles down on their own cognitive dissonance, and you need to work very hard to break them from that cult. Check out Dean Withers. Unfortunately, most cults, until the cult leader dies, the cultists stay. So until old age and until, the Reaper visits, don't look forward to that cult breaking up anytime soon. So tired of pollsters. Get off the couch and vote. Yes, sir. 5 p.m. So glad to see the membership, sir. Glad to see the membership. DK Walk, we must bring in and support younger candidates, but not at the expense of experience. There can be a healthy balance. They must stay effective, though. Yeah. You know what? A perfect example I'll give you in Virginia, James Walkinshaw. James Walkinshaw. Young, energetic, brilliant in and of his own right, smart. But he came in and he paired up with more experienced politicians and learned how to get things done, learned how to coalition build, he will be a leader for decades within the Democratic Party. You watch him, James Walkinshaw out of Virginia. You watch him. He's one of the people I've got on my radar that I'm keeping an eye on that is going to be a leader in our party. You watch it happen. But he didn't just come in and try to, well, let me tell you how you need to do shit around here. No, he didn't do that. Dyslexic Fingers, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. Oh, Joan Princess. So Janine, people more like Barbara Darden, Representative Barbara and Jordan. Yeah, we need that next generation to come in. We do. We really need strong people, and we also need good leaders. Christopher Daly getting arrested at the age of 2, and you don't call that grooming? They are right, though. Traumatizing is not going. I'm telling you, the shit that's going on. We're going to be talking about some horrible shit. I'm not telling you. I'm telling they're incompetent and they're stupid, but I'm not going to tell you they're not going to do horrible shit. They are. Francis Rinaldi, thank you for being here. I wish these people on Blue Sky would get it in their heads that the Republicans are the bad guys who we must fight. Wish these people on Blue Sky would get it in their heads that the Republicans are the bad guys. Yep. Too many things that I see out of Blue Sky. And I'm telling you, the energy's fucking great, man. A lot of people gave up on Blue Sky. I will never give up on Blue Sky. The energy there is freaking great. But I cannot tell you how many stories come out, especially out of larger populist accounts. The Republicans did X that was horrible. Now, let me tell you why it's the Democrats' fault. And then just the comment section is just full of haters. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. 5 p.m. somewhere. My right hand is for writing and working with tools. My left hand is always there for friends and neighbors. I'm proud to be a leftist. Me too, man. Me too. Thank you for all the support, people. I really appreciate you. Look, this is going on, folks. This is a big deal. I want to move to our main story that I want to talk about today. This is happening, and it is a big freaking deal, okay? We've known for the longest time, the Trump regime is incompetent. We've talked about the economy. We've talked about foreign policy. They're just incompetent in just about every front. But their incompetence with intelligence is really dangerous. It really is. Thank you all for the support. I appreciate you. It is dangerous. We've seen this. We saw them invite a reporter into a signal chat. And the fact that they're using Signal in the first place, huge red flag. Huge red flag. I'll explain why in a minute. I've talked about it before. I'll explain it again in just a minute. But you saw this: messages with Yemen war plans inadvertently shared with a reporter, a timeline of the signal mishap. Yeah, they're talking about war plans, and they've got a reporter that they've invited into their signal chat. I mean, they're pretty incompetent people. They really are. They just. I don't think they should be trusted with intelligence. I really don't. And you're starting to see our people that have been our allies, our European allies, they're not sharing intelligence with us anymore. Vincent Day, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Five Eyes is pretty much will become a Cyclops, one eye. I mean, it's one thing after another where they just keep screwing up. Catalyst 187, New York City Council member Chios has tried to challenge Jeffries right after the mayoral election. Glad Mamdani didn't support it. Progressive versus populist. I don't have this pen right here. If you want to challenge these people in primaries, go ahead. Do it. If you can convince people that you're a better option, that makes us a stronger party. Being a ride or die Democrat is all about supporting primaries and you know what? Chuck Schumer will face a primary opponent in 2028. He will. I mean, he will. And I'm not telling people not to do that. What I'm telling you is he's the leader of the Democratic Party. He does a good job in a lot of different, a lot of ways. Quit shitting all over the Democratic Party and trying to say the Democrats are failing when they're not. This whole shutdown negotiation doesn't get any better. And that was Chuck Schumer. It just was. That's my point. I'm not saying, hey, if you can produce a candidate that's better than Chuck Schumer, I'm not saying don't challenge him in a primary. That's not what I'm saying. Primaries are good for the party. They are. The primary challenge against Jeffries fizzled out because they didn't have a candidate that could challenge Jeffries. Giddy Roadrunner, we need to keep repeating what Ossoff said. They are corrupt and everybody knows it. Amen. Amen. Keep it coming. In order to share intelligence, you actually have to have intelligence. Joan, you're the best. You really are. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, people. Especially you people watching this on replay. This happened. This happened. We saw this when Steve Witkoff was in Russia using Russian networks with his cell phone. And they're having a signal chat back and forth about classified information, running it through Russian networks. You know how a chat works. I mean, you're getting all of the information. Each person in the chat is getting all the information. So everything they discussed in this, while Witkoff was sitting in fucking Russia, was in the hands of the Russians. It just was. It just was. And folks, this whole signal thing, I can't stress to you enough. That is grandma encryption. That's grandma encryption. That keeps your grandma from reading about, you're looking porn on your phone. You don't want grandma to see it. The signal is not intelligence level encryption. It's just not. And they know it's not. They know it's. You want elegant proof that these people know the signal is not secure? Ta-da! The FBI spied on Signal group chat of immigration activists, records reveal. So yeah, these people are lazy. These people are stupid. These people know they're being stupid. They know, we can look at people's signal chats. People, don't think that, oh, I'm gonna download this free app and it's gonna keep the government out of my business. So we're gonna be able to talk about what. No, just assume the government knows. That's why people tell me, Paul, you need to not carry your cell phone when you go to protest. Bullshit. Bullshit. Government has facial recognition software. They know everybody that attended. You not carrying your cell phone just means you don't have your camera. Yeah, I mean, bullshit. A free, and they know it. They know it. They are, on one hand, they are absolutely getting it into people's private signal chats. They know it. And over here, they're pretending that Signal somehow provides them some level of encryption. They're telling Cletus, the dumbass, we use Signal, so it was encrypted. Fuck you. You know, I mean, fuck you. 5 p.m. somewhere. Has anyone else noticed that Tulsi has a Siberian snow stripe hair accent? Yeah, darn it. Yeah, no shit, man. No shit. So this has happened, folks, and this is important. This is important. Who do you like for U.S. Senate, Tallarico or Crockett? They both seem to be super candidates. Do you think one would do better than the other in the general? I have avoided that question like the plague because we have two exceptional candidates. I am not going to stick my thumb on the scale. I'm not. Do I have a personal preference? Yes, I do. No, I'm not going to share it with you. I'm not. Not at this point. I'm not going to share it with you. Sharonino, this Signal thing will bite us in the ass. They're doing so much damage to this country. It already is. So this has happened. This has happened. Someone in Trump's inner circle was caught by the NSA in conversations with a foreign intelligence service. And it was bad. It was bad. But they didn't, you know, they always say it's always the cover up. It's always the cover up. Rather than burning the person that was in Trump's inner circle, that is in contact with foreign intelligence services, they did this instead. There is a whistleblower that has been screaming about this. And Republicans are trying to muddy the waters here. I'm going to clarify that for you, okay? Because the Republicans are trying very hard to muddy the water. You know, not only are they protecting the people in the Epstein files, not only are they protecting pedophiles, they are now attempting to protect someone in the Trump's inner orbit by muddying the waters. And yeah, there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. So, just to be clear, there is more than one complaint here. There's a complaint over here that is about political partisanship and not reporting. And then there's the original complaint about the person and their contact with foreign intelligence. And this is bad enough that they're saying that this should have been referred to the DOJ for criminal investigation. Okay? Don't confuse the two, because that is what the Republicans are trying very hard to do. They are trying very hard to do. 1 second. Pause for a second. I had a couple of comments get away from me. If you can help me out and find those two red comments, I would be grateful. I would be grateful. Both of those got away from me. Both of those I will get them brought up. I will. But this happened, okay? We have a whistleblower out of the NSA. Look, Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence. not everybody's going to know what that means. Okay. The director of national intelligence is the narrowest part of the funnel between our intelligence services and the president. The director of national intelligence is over even the FBI. A lot of people confuse this because the FBI does engage in intelligence gathering activities. Their intelligence gathering, a lot of people think, oh, well, the FBI is part of the DOJ. The DOJ is run by the Attorney General. The Attorney General controls that. No, their intelligence gathering goes through the DNI, CIA, military intelligence, Department of Homeland Security's intelligence, all goes through Tulsi Gabbard. Why that's a fucking mistake and that structure is a mistake is for another show. I have hated since they restructured this the way they have. I understand why they did it. They did it to try to get these agencies to cooperate and share more by having somebody that knew what, having a finger in all the pies, that knows what's going on in all the areas, that could say, hey, you need to share this over here. And, everybody had their own fiefdom. There was a problem that was at the source of creating this structure, but it's a problem. It is a problem. That is what Tulsi Gabbard does. She is the director of national intelligence. She is who gathers all this intelligence and takes it to the White House. Okay? There's a whistleblower that says, like I said, two different complaints. One, that there was contact between somebody in Trump's inner circle with a foreign intelligence organization, and that report was killed. And we're going to talk about that here in just a second. And two, that whistleblower also says it was killed for political reasons. Now, the way the Republicans are trying to muddy the water, okay, is this. These are the main takeaways from that article. Okay. When he was confirmed in October, Fox, and they're talking about Christopher Fox, I'm going to introduce you to him in just a second, says he was told by the ODNI's general counsel that complexity in the classification of the complaint had contributed to the delay in providing the whistleblower with the necessary security guidance to send it to Congress. What they mean there is what the new ICIG, the Inspector General over the intelligence community, was told, Christopher Fox was told, this was not delayed over political reasons. This was delayed because we couldn't figure out how to share it. I've told you in previous shows, that's bullshit. There are mechanisms for it, but that's the complaint they went with, okay? This is only regarding the allegation that it wasn't shared for political reasons. All right? Fox says he continued to push for the guidance, and that when he met with Gabbard in December, she said she had been unaware of the issue and committed to providing the guidance as soon as practicable. That was a lie. She lied to the Inspector General. And all of this, the cover-up is going to bury them all. She lied when she said that timeline is important. She said in December, don't know nothing about it. She pulled how Little Johnson, I can't comment on that. Haven't heard anything about it. You know how they always do that shit? All right. You know how they always do that. She tried to do that with the Inspector General. We're going to blow that shit out of the water here. All right. More of what she said. And this is from the CNN article. Okay. The whistleblower's lawyer told CNN on Tuesday night that he has yet to receive any security guidance on sharing the complaint with the broader intelligence committees beyond just the Gang of Eight. The Gang of Eight is the group in Congress that receives intelligence briefings that are of highly sensitive nature. They don't just hand it over to all of Congress. This is a highly specialized group of people that are cleared to get this information, and then they figure out how to deal with it and how to disseminate it. They're also flagging executive privilege. Now, this is important. They're also flagging executive privilege concerns. And for me, executive privilege concerns means that this is somehow involves the White House. Andrew McCall says he was talking about how the White House is involved. Now, look, I want to clarify this for you because this just happened. Republicans dismiss whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard. Anonymous insider alleges Director of National Intelligence withheld classified information for political reasons. Now, the way I say it, they're doing this to muddy the water. Remember, two different complaints. This complaint specifically alleges motive. She did it for political reasons. Their excuse over political motives is bullshit. It is. It's bullshit. They say, "Oh, we didn't know how to share it. We didn't know, what to do about it. It was hard. It was hard. All the shit we just talked about." The prior ICIG that was appointed by Biden said, "Yeah, okay, I've got no way to prosecute you for doing this politically because of your excuses." Republicans grabbed onto that and said, "See, the complaint's bullshit. The complaint's bullshit. It's bullshit." No, because they had 21 days from when they received this report, the one that was supposed to be sent to DOJ, the one about the person in Trump's inner circle being in contact with foreign intelligence. They had 21 days to share this report with the Gang of Eight. It's been 8 months. 8 months, and they hadn't shared it. So no, it isn't bullshit. It isn't just being disregarded, but that is what Republicans are telling Cletus, who doesn't know shit and can't understand this. We'll never see a show that will explain this. All Cletus is hearing is allegation, whistleblower bullshit. That's all they're saying. Fox News will not explain to Cletus what I'm explaining to you. Muddy waters. We talking Trump trousers? Oh man, that's nasty. That is nasty. Oh, that is nasty. 5 p.m. somewhere. That is nasty. Weird Idaho liberal in the house. Intelligence in our government is gone. Just dumb for gum-gums that don't flush after douche. Festering treasonous fascists stink. Man, y'all are killing it. Y'all are killing it. But yeah, the fact that they did not notify the Gang of Eight, they didn't notify Congress of the original whistleblower complaint, which is of the person in Trump's orbit that is in touch with foreign intelligence, which is bad enough that they are now saying this should have been referred to the DOJ for criminal investigation. So we know it's bad. And it's actually really fucking horrible because remember, they were claiming executive privilege. Well, that means the White House has to be involved. Well, this is what we found out. And remember, Tulsi Gabbard tried to pull a Little Johnson and say, "I don't know what you're talking about." Okay. That was in December. In April, Tulsi Gabbard, April, now not December, we're talking April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. April, Tulsi Gabbard takes the initial report about the person in Trump's inner circle, stops her organization that she's in charge of from publishing any of it, takes the written report and hand delivers it to Susie Wiles in April. Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles. They insulated Trump by having Susie Wiles accept this report. So yeah, the I don't know what this is about stuff is a complete lie. And that will come back to bite her in the ass. She told the inspector general a lie. Thanks for the support, Young. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So now, in April, Tulsi Gabbard takes a report to Susie Wiles that says someone in Trump's inner circle, has been in touch with foreign intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard kills that report. The White House does not share it. They ignore the law that says they must share it with Congress within 21 days. They ignore it. Now, in April, that happened. In May, now I told you, this is Christopher Fox. Christopher Fox has an intelligence background. He has been confirmed by Congress. He took over in October as the new Inspector General, the ICIG. This is Christopher Fox. He's the person that sat down with Tulsi Gabbard in December. He deferred to the prior ICIG's investigation of whether it was political or not. He didn't, but he went back and he asked her about the report. And she said, I don't know nothing, man. She lied to him. Wait for it. Wait for it. In April, she hand walks the report to the White House, kills the report, absolutely kills the report. And I want you to be careful about some of the stuff that's going around on social media about this, because there's an unfounded report that I can find no corroboration to that Tulsi Gabbard told the whistleblower's lawyers that she could kill any report. As far as I can tell, that is a complete fabrication. That is just somebody wanting to get clicks, selling that bullshit on social media. It may end up being true, but I cannot confirm that. So be careful about what you're taking. Okay? So April, the report, Tulsi Gabbard walks it over. We know in December she lied about knowing about it. Okay? But wait. May. April, May, a week later, Tulsi Gabbard moves Dennis Kirk, one of her advisors, her direct advisors. She moves Dennis Kirk into the ICIG office in May. Their cover story was that, Dennis is supposed to see the transition between the two ICIGs. Dennis Kirk is one of the authors of the 2025 Project. Dennis Kirk was originally brought in to work with Doge, with Vought, and he worked in OPM, and then he was moved to be an advisor to Tulsi Gabbard. He is one of the authors of Project 2025. Was moved to be one of Tulsi Gabbard's advisors, because remember, she is completely 100% wholly unqualified to do the job. So they brought in a bunch of advisors for her. She took Dennis Kirk and moved him into the ICIG's office in May, a week after marching that office, that report to the White House, handing it to Susie Wiles, killing the report within her own organization. She moves Dennis Kirk into the ICIG's office, at which time the ICIG's office stops investigating any of this and does not do anything about it until Christopher Fox is put in place in October 2025, at which he gets a briefing on any old reports that are out there. He takes what he's briefed. No, and the prior ICIG on the whistleblower complaint about it being killed over nothing but politics said, nah, they've got excuses. He accepts that. But he goes and says, hey, what about the original report? And Tulsi Gabbard tells him, I haven't heard of it. I don't know. I'll get back to you on it. I'll get back to you. And this is why we know about this now, because the new ICIG, Christopher Fox, said 21 days. There's a fucking law. 21 days. You will give me this guidance. You will tell me how I can give this to Congress. This is going to Congress. You will tell me. By the way, there's a codicil in that law that says if you refuse to participate, Congress just gets it without you guiding how they get it. They just get it. To which case Tulsi Gabbard, who's incompetent and stupid and completely unaware of how the law works, went, and that brings us to where we are today. Which is stories like this breaking into the headlines. NSA detected foreign intelligence phone call about a person close to Trump. Whistleblower says that Tulsi Gabbard blocked agency from sharing report and delivered it to White House Chief of Staff. It has all started to come out. It has all. The only shoe that hasn't dropped is what did Dennis Kirk do while in the ICIG's office? That has yet to drop. That will come from investigations. That will come if we elect Democrats in the midterm, because right now, Republicans are trying to kill this. Just like they protected pedophiles and the Epstein files, just like they refused. Chuck Schumer put a motion forward saying, look, we are the Senate. We are the Senate. This administration, a co-equal branch of government, is not following the law. They are thumbing their nose at us. They are redacting information in the Epstein files, which they are not allowed to redact, and they are not releasing all the information to us. We, as the Senate, should sue them to force them to comply. Republicans killed that motion. Republican John Thune killed that motion in the Senate. Not only are they protecting pedophiles, they are now openly protecting traitors. And we will not get real investigations until we take Congress in the midterms, which is why I'm telling you this. I mean, this is serious, folks. This is from that article. Let me just read you one of the important portions of that article. But rather than allowing the NSA officials to distribute the information further, Gabbard took a paper copy of the intelligence directly to the president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, according to the whistleblower's attorney, Andrew Bacot. One day after meeting Wiles, Gabbard told the NSA not to publish the intelligence report. Instead, she instructed NSA officials to transmit the highly classified details directly to her office. Details of this exchange between Gabbard and the NSA were shared directly with The Guardian and have not been previously reported, nor has Wiles' receipt of the intelligence report. So yeah, this stuff is dropping. It is falling from the trees. It is falling on their heads as we speak. And the Republicans' reaction to this is to try to muddy the waters, deny there's anything there before they even see what is there. They're going to protect a traitor in Trump's inner circle, just like they're protecting pedophiles. Tulsi Gabbard already started that ball rolling. She did not disclose the report within the 21 days like she's legally required to do. She killed the publication of that report, and she delivered that report to Susie Wiles in the White House. ET, it is less than 39 weeks until the general election. Make sure of your voter registration deadlines. Make sure of your early voting dates. Get involved. Folks, this is our national intelligence. This is our national intelligence that we're talking about. Linda Orndorff, I want the judiciary to bring in Bill Barr and make him answer in public why this info about Epstein's death was not investigated. The noose was missing. He was previously found choked unconscious. Yeah, there is so much that we must dig into. There is. But we won't be able to. I want you to take a second, and I just want you to imagine. You've seen this horrible shit that they're doing. All of it, from invading Venezuela to now we have forces on the ground. Remember, we did the strikes in Nigeria, and I did that whole segment on the show of how China's using, soft diplomacy and making massive inroads. We now have forces on the ground in Nigeria. And it just disappeared like a fart in the wind in the corporate media. Just gone. I mean, it's one thing after another that are just fucking disasters. And now this is our national intelligence. Between the signal stupidity and covering up that there's someone in Trump's inner circle that is in direct contact with foreign intelligence services. And it is bad enough that they are saying, you not only covered this up, you impeded a criminal investigation. Because this should have been referred to the Department of Justice and investigated by the FBI as a crime. But folks, I want you to imagine all of that horrible shit that they're doing. The way they're attacking our transgender brothers and sisters, our LGBTQ plus brothers and sisters, what they're doing with ICE. They're arresting 2-year-old freaking kids, man. They're interfering with people's legal immigration just to deport, just to make a quota. People are legally working their way through the system. They're interfering with that just so that ICE can arrest them and make a quota. That's now. They're murdering Americans in the streets and blocking investigations into it. That's now. I want you to imagine if we don't win the midterm. I want you to think about what they will be like if we lose the midterms. Because I want to caution you about something. Yes, these numbers going our way look fantastic. There's a lot to be excited about. There really is. These special election victories are fucking fantastic. They really are. But I want to caution you about this. They're not going to cheat in these one off special elections like they're going to cheat in the midterms. And they are going to cheat in the midterms. They are going to cheat in the midterms. They cheat in every major election. They limit voting machines in Democratic districts. That's cheating. They have their bullshit, dark, right-wing law firms file challenges based on your signature. They challenge people's voter registrations. They cheat every election. And now people are looking at what's going on with them seizing voting machines in Fulton County. Folks, they're not going to find anything that's going to help them electorally about the 2020 election in Fulton County. They're just not. There's nothing for them to find in Fulton County that's going to help them with Trump's ego in the 2020 election. But what they can do, I want you again, look at the fucking calendar. 39 weeks. We're 8 months away. 8 months away from an election. And now the federal government has Fulton County's voting machines. How long do you think they can hold them? And what do you think happens in the midterm elections in Georgia if Fulton County doesn't have its voting machines back and get them back in time to vet them and put them in service? What do you think happens all around Georgia? Because the Secretary of State is going to have to pull voting machines from other regions. Do you think he'll pull them from Republican districts or Democratic districts? That cheating that they already do about limiting voting machines is going to be exponentially worse. And they're going to blue districts that Trump has no hope of ever finding anything that will help him out with his, 2020 was stolen bullshit. But they're pulling these voting machines. It's not just in Fulton County, Georgia. They're doing it in other places, folks. They are directly trying to limit your access to the ballot. And that works, folks. That's proven. That's why they do it. It's proven to work. So yeah, the numbers look good. But remember, in the midterms, they're going to be cheating at a level they're not cheating in these one-off special elections. We're going to have to be better. We're going to have to be more prepared. We're going to have to have a turnout that is much larger. Because I want you to imagine for a second that we only take a slim majority in just the House. What does that look like? Or even worse, we don't take majorities. I want you to imagine what that looks like. Are you in a biracial marriage? Are you married to an immigrant? Are you a woman that likes to vote? Folks, think about the misogyny. Think about everything they're doing, and then think about what that looks like on the other side of a midterm loss. And then your mission becomes very fucking clear. Very clear. I will not do what I did in the 2024 election and get excited and get high on my own supply. Yes, these numbers feel good. They feel fucking great. And it seems like people have woken up and realized, what is going on here. Yes, that is all to be excited about. Yes, that should give you energy. That should give you hope. Take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted. Silly Bebo, they're following Stephen Bannon's instructions and flooding the zone with shit. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. 5 p.m. somewhere. We've never seen Trump sneeze or blow his nose. He's terrified of losing that last brain cell. Y'all are great. Y'all are great. Y'all are fantastic. Y'all are really fantastic. You really are. Agent Cajun John, back, man, I appreciate all the support, brother. Thank you, Texas Paul, for your clear mind and factual knowledge and to keep us on the righteous path to move forward. No, thank you, brother. Thank you. I can run my mouth all day long, but y'all have to be where the rubber meets the road. Y'all have to hit the follow button. Y'all have to, you know what I mean? Agent Cajun John, thank you for your concerns, Texas Paul. I'm doing well. Got a checkup coming first week of March. I expect better results. Good, man. I'm glad to hear it, brother. I'm glad. Randy Ryder, shame they're so crazy about a 15-minute Spanish halftime show and cannot get crazy over decades of pedos. That is a fact. That is a fact. Yep. If we don't win the midterms, I am out of here. Even if I have to walk away all the way to the border. Yeah. Look, I want to share something with you. I want to share something with you. I've told you this before, that before I started doing this and before I felt the drive, the need for my kids, for my grandchildren, I had a plan, man. I had a retirement plan. I was going to go work in a woodworking shop and I was going to fish and I was going to, I've kind of gotten into this whole survival thing, learning about some of the local, plants that grow here, the local mushrooms that grow here, that food sources. I just like it. I'm not one of those preppers. I'm not a crazy person, but that was my plan. That was my goal before I started doing this full time, which I have to do. Part of that plan was looking at maybe we should look at other places to live. And then shit started getting crazy with Trump, and that became a harsh reality. I've looked at a couple different countries where I might move my family if things really went south. I've really started to get this house back into condition to sell if I have to. If I have to sell my property and house quickly, which would suck in this environment, I would take a bath. But if I had to, I could. I am really taking steps, folks, if shit goes south. I'm looking at property in Ireland. I'm looking at property in Panama. I'm looking at property in different countries around the world and looking at the advantages. I'm telling you, have hope. Fight. That's what I'm going to do. I will be here for the next 8 months fighting my ass off. But as part of this community, you have a plan for what next. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm not saying do anything radical. I'm saying don't get caught flat-footed. If for God's sake, that feeling that you had when the election results came in from the 2024 election, if that happens again in the midterms, have a plan. Have a plan. Dr. G87, thank you for your clarity and direction about our future. Monocool, new machines, please. Don't trust like that. We have computers being put into fabric now for our medical stuff. Yeah, I'm telling you, folks, we have a lot of work to do and only 8 months to do it. Jordan B. Miller, I want to know what lies the DOJ told a judge to steal those voting machines. That is being litigated right now. Georgia is suing to get their voting machines back. You know, I'm not no fan of Republicans, but at least these Republicans seem to understand. This is what I'm trying to tell people. Everybody's like talking about this. They took the voting machines for Trump's ego and this, that, and the other. The Republicans in Georgia understand we're fucked if we don't get these voting machines back in the next election. Carl Rossi, everything I really want to say gets blocked, so I will simply say, keep the faith, brother. H&S. Yeah, man, I did. They've got it's not even the moderators. There is the YouTube controls what you can say, man. It does. You can only say so much. And you should probably be glad that they moderate it, because if you're brushing up against that one, YouTube's pretty lenient. You may want to think about what you're saying, brother. 5 p.m. somewhere, you strike me as a largemouth bass man. Keep on talking. I got a picture of Mrs. Texas Paul with a bass she pulled out of Stillhouse. I'll tell you a fishing story, and this is true. I got a picture to back it up. Stillhouse Hollow is not known as a great bass lake. It's not. But we were fishing it, having a good time off the river channel, and right off the edge of the river channel, there was just tons of trees. If you fish, you know what trees look like when they're underwater. Can't get your boat in there. The trees are so thick, you'll damage your boat. And when I say trees, I mean trees underwater. So Mrs. Texas Paul is throwing a crankbait out there and slow rolling it real slow over the top of those trees. And then as soon as she clears the trees to the channel, she burns it in. The next thing you know, I look back, she's hollering on the back of the boat. Her rod is bent completely in half. She pulls in this bass off Stillhouse Hollow. I swear to God, if I didn't have a picture, nobody would ever believe it. She is holding this bass after we get it in the boat. She's got the bottom lip here with her chin, and the tail fin on that bass is midway down her thighs. That bass is that big around. It was freaking huge, man. It was huge. That was a good day. And damn it, my wife outshoots me. She outfishes me. She's smarter than I am. Oh, my God. Yeah. But that's what I have for you today. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your rest of the day. And enjoy some Texas cities at night.